Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Tropical Storm Future Hurricane Helene update. Like with my yesterday's update, I figured it'd be Tropical Storm by the end of the day. I'm suspecting it's going to be hurricane status probably by close of business today for the East Coast. So, realistically, everyone, today is your last full day to prepare if you're in the northern Florida area. If you're in the southern Florida area, you should probably be wrapping things up by around midday, and yeah, be prepared for wide scale power outages, be prepared for a lot of historic storm surge, especially up in the Big Bend area where the geography is just terrible for this approach. Is a lot of that eastern onshore flow is going to be pushing a ton of water up into the Appalachian Bay area, and the geography is just there to hold it. So what's that excess water going to do? It's going to go up into land where it's normally not. So there is a highway up here, Highway 98. Anything south of Highway 98 for Wakulla, Jefferson, and western Taylor counties up here in the northern area for the Big Bend, chances are that road will be underwater. So after the hurricane passes, don't plan on using that road. If you got to go north to Tallahassee or anything like that, or use US 19 or US 27 and give emergency workers time to clear these roads after the storm passes. That is paramount. Because without ways to get in and out, you can't really get the stuff you need, and emergency services can't get to you. So you got to give law enforcement and Department of Transportation time to work and clear the roads after the storm passes. So please be patient. Things are not going to happen immediately, though. As soon as things are safe, they will start rolling out, but they have to have some time to work. So after the storm is clear and you feel it's safe to go outside, clean up your yard, but don't expect to go to the stores. This won't take even a few days for the stores to open back up. So, now, on to the 0500 Eastern, 04 Central update for Tropical Storm Helene. 65 mile an hour sustained winds, plus or minus a couple. Looks like it is centered just east of Cancun by a little bit. And the hurricane track has shifted west just a little bit. Now, don't get confused with the track and the cone. The cone is where the center could end up at that point in this track. The center is just the average of where those are pointing. And to be perfectly honest, the effects are going to be felt statewide, because this thing is a monster in size, and we will see here in just a second. But anywhere in the peninsula, as you can see, we have tropical storm warnings popped up literally for the entire peninsula, and or in watches popping up for Georgia and South Carolina. That should speak volumes at the sheer size of this storm, which we're about to see. So let's look at Radar Omega, and voila! As you can see, the cone is going to shore in eastern Franklin, western Jefferson, and going to be tracking over western Leon. That is bad news for everyone in Jefferson and Leon, and especially or Franklin and Wakulla. Not by a lot, but even 20-30 miles can make a big difference between Category 3 eyewall type winds or Category 1 sustained or not eyewall winds. Now, granted, this still puts us on the strong side of the storm, where there's going to be a lot of rain convection, because you can see even here on Radar Omega, if you look closer to the Tallahassee area at the top of the map here, you can see some of the outflow clouds that are associated with this system. So this system, it is monstrous in size. If you put this over the Gulf, it could easily cover the whole thing. So that is the biggest concern, is the sheer size of this, and that is going to hamper its strength some, but it's also going to be the biggest problem with the storm. Because everywhere on the peninsula, big rain threat, which means flash flood potentials, tornadoes are going to be a constant with this thing as it's moving north in the Gulf. So everyone in the peninsula, from all the way to Key West and Dry Tortugas, all the way into the Carolinas, be careful. Keep an eye on your local weather forecast, and if you have weather radios, keep them handy, because you never know when a tornado is going to pop up or in these feeder bands. Now, as for the center itself, as you can see, the wind field is growing. Tropical storm force winds are probably going to be felt, or quite literally, all over the panhandle by the time this thing gets done intensifying. And especially in the center counties of the Big Bend and the eastern panhandle, we're more than likely going to see hurricane force winds at a minimum for a sustained period. So be prepared for that. So we are going to see widespread power outages. We are going to see down limbs, down trees. And there's going to be a lot of mess to clean up after this. So don't get it twisted. There will be work to do after this. And if you still have power by the time this thing passes, you are one of the lucky few. I guarantee you a lot of people are going to be without power or in the next day or two because of this. Some of you may get your power back in a couple of hours, some in a couple of days. There's going to be a lot of coastal folks that won't get it back for months. Let's be completely honest with ourselves here. So if you have generators, top or make sure they are ready to go. Do not top them off yet. Wait until after the storm, top them off and fire them up, and make sure they're in a well-ventilated area. Ham radio operators, your services will probably start being needed tonight and into or the wee hours of Friday morning, or as the storm starts passing. And after that, hopefully emergency services can start getting things cleared up so we can start getting power restoration and utility restoration. But the biggest takeaway I can have from all of this, be safe. So check your local forecast, check your local emergency managements for evacuation orders. And if you got those, pay attention to them. And if you can't evacuate for whatever reason, get to the safest spot you can, preferably away from the coast. As the further inland you go, the safer you will be from the storm surge. Can't necessarily say you'll be safe from flooding, but at least it's not going to be sustained guaranteed storm surge of 15 plus feet like the Big Bend will most likely be saying. As you can see, there's that blue line all along the coast, or that is a storm surge warning. The further south, the lower it is, but in the Big Bend, because of the geography, like I said, it's just pushing all that water up, and it's going to be historic. So Keaton Beach, Decoy Beach, Horseshoe Beach, there's Cedar Key, Steinhatchee, of all the beaches, or I'm not sure what they are in Jefferson and Wakulla, but in Franklin, don't stay on those beaches, get inland. Even if you only get like 5 or 6 miles inland, that's still a far cry better than being on the coast with storm surge that most likely you're not going to survive. So the paramount key message here is be safe, keep an eye on what's going on with this storm, and listen to your local officials, because chances are they're telling you to get out for a reason if they're telling you to get out. And those of you who can't, at least be as safe as possible where you're at. And don't stay on the coast. I cannot emphasize that enough. So if you got any questions, put them in the comments below. I'll try to answer them as best I can or get you the resources that can get you the answer you're looking for. Take care and stay safe, everyone. This might be my final video update. I may have one more tonight or tomorrow morning. We will see. But in case you don't hear from me again, I'll see you on the other side of the storm. Bye.